Hello everyone, my name is Ben. I'm here to talk to you about RF shim flexibility with multiple surface loop arrays over various head geometries. If at any point during this talk you have any questions, feel free to pause the video, send me a text or an email. The motivation for this talk is to address 7T inhomogeneity. Wavelength shortening, attenuation, intersubject variability all contribute to 7T inhomogeneity. One way of dealing with this is something called RF shimming. By independently controlling the amplitude and phase of each of our coil elements, we can technically achieve an infinitely possible number of field interference patterns. So we can push the field to a more homogeneous B1+. We want to look at, in particular, the ability of higher density arrays to tailor the field for subjects. So two arrays in general that I want to draw your attention to is a 480 loop array, which is subsampled to create more arrays, and then a 256 loop array as well. The coils within these arrays are ideal current source surface loops for each of them, and then the subject for the 480 loop array is the visible human model, and then along with the visible human model, the 256 loop array was simulated over 20 in-house M&I registered data sets. So we simulate these transmission coil arrays, we plug their B1+ fields into the Gertzberg-Saxon algorithm, and then we look at the trade-off between homogeneity, efficiency, and SAR, particularly over the volume of the brain matter. Let's take a look at the results. Over the visible human, the 256 element array is more efficient, going to show that more loops doesn't necessarily mean a better coil. And so you can see the 256 element array is the red diamond. And you can also see that the trade-off or the benefit of more loops isn't as significant between 480 and 360 loops. The reason why the 256 element array performed best was that it was staggered and centered closer to the brain, although the loops were on the same cylinder. Looking at transmit efficiency, which is denoted as eta in this graph, we can see that the 1 centimeter radius loops decrease efficiency in some of the models, especially in the 480 element array, although the 256 element array beats them all. Another thing we wanted to take a look at was does this particular array, the 256 array, perform over multiple head models? So using 20 in-house registered head models and 3 angles for each of them, I shimmed all of them, and we'll take a look at those results here as well. There's a lot happening in this graph. I just want to break it down and take 5 head models as an example. So the first thing that we see with the green dots is that a rotation of 5 degrees can change our shim performance. Some heads are cheaper to shim than others, as can be seen by the blue crosshair. The optimized shims are a 3% variability between heads, and the max current element could vary by a factor of 2 between each of our subjects. Some conclusions that we can draw from this data is that our loop placement greatly influences the coil efficiency. Arrays with less elements may outperform the denser counterparts if they're more optimally placed around the field of excitation. Rotations also affect our shim performance, and subject differences indeed affect the coil shim performance as well. Future direction that I want to take this work is I want to include coupling in my simulation. As of right now, I'm ignoring it. I want to vary the surface loop radius to see how much a larger loop will give back in terms of homogeneity and efficiency. I want to explore intersubject variability with our custom 200 head anatomically correct models, which are being segmented presently. And I also want to look at the global minimum of the Gertzberg-Saxon algorithm and see if it's even possible to reach a global minimum, as the algorithm is dealing with so many phase combinations, it's hard to tell. I also want to have a more diverse pulse sequence and excitation volume or slice to look at. Thanks so much for listening to my talk, and as I said before, feel free to reach out. This is my group, these are my references. Have an awesome time at ISMRM 2020.